Welcome to Dugout Discussions with the Coach. I'm Todd Scott Miller. Now, for those of you who've been listening to my podcast, you're probably looking at this right now on YouTube and thinking, "Wow, he's got a build for radio." But I'm still working on that. So that's something I'm definitely trying to do. And my guest today, Mr. Albert Hernandez, is helping me do that with his healthy bars. And we're going to get to talking about those in a little bit. But, I just want to introduce you to him.
Glad to be here. Happy to be the first one.
Yeah. Well,
see how it goes.
That's the benefits you get from, bringing me free bars. So
there you go.
So anyway, so tell me a little bit about Albert. Where's Albert from? What Albert do?
Who is this guy?
How did you get to here? Who is this guy?
Well, let's I won't go too long into it, but just kind of how it started. I come from a big family. Brothers and sisters were 7 total. 7 boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a twin?
4 boys and a twin. 4 boys and 3 girls.
Yeah.
And so
I remember meeting your twin at work one day.
There you go. And you thought it was me.
I thought it was you, and I started talking to him, and he's like, I was like, I guess Albert's pissed off. I don't know.
He don't like me anymore. So I was born in close to a small town called Mundy, Texas, but only lived there for a couple of years, and then was raised in Corpus Christi, Texas, and that's where I kind of grew up and graduated from high school.
Okay.
And then that was in '91 when I graduated in high school, and from there I went over to college. Went to MIT in Massachusetts.
So we can trust you when you tell us stuff because you're smart.
Pretty much, yeah. I think so.
Okay. Is it an economics degree? That's what I mean now.
No, it's a chemical engineering degree.
Oh my goodness, chemical engineering.
So I did that for 4 years there at MIT, graduated, and then continued working there for 2 years. Hired on with a company, with an engineering company, and then in '97 got transferred to Houston, and I've been here since then, since '97.
Oh wow.
So working for an automation company, did that for about 12 years, went to a competitor for 5, and then quit there and then went back to where I started.
That's the automation industry.
Automation industry. During that time, I did go back to school and got an MBA degree from Rice.
Okay.
So I did that from 2010 to 2012.
So MIT and Rice.
There you
go. It's like, so we should be able to trust everything you tell us.
I'm still trying to figure out what to do. You can believe that.
I can believe it. Yeah, that's hard, isn't it? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
You're grown up now, and you're like, still don't know.
Still trying to figure that out.
Still trying to figure that out. Which brings us to where you're at now. When did you decide to try entrepreneurship? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who've started it and didn't realize that you have to work.
Yeah.
They think it means that you don't work, but you're a guy who's been to MIT, who's been to Rice. You probably done a little bit of research. So, when did you decide to try this?
Well, the reality is that I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had no desire to be an entrepreneur. At Rice University, there's a class you have to take, entrepreneurship class, and I remember just sitting in there going, it's interesting information, but it didn't pique I wasn't really interested in it. I was just kind of taking the class because I had to. Let's pass it and get it done with. And in my mind, I said, there was just no interest. I liked what I was doing as an engineer, kind of the path that I was going through at the company I was working for, and still am working for. Entrepreneurship, no, never even crossed my mind.
Really?
And then it wasn't until I'll go ahead and kind of go back a little bit. In 2008, my mom she went through a second bout of breast cancer, and after the second bout, after a year of chemo radiation, nothing was happening. So cancer had come back. She had gotten it back in 2001, was in remission, and then in 2007 it came back. So then for that whole year, nothing was working as far as chemo radiation. We stopped treatment. And then like 2 months later, in March of 2008, she passed away. And that was hard because she was the backbone of our family, right? She was the reason we had a strong family. Her and my dad too, but she was the backbone. And so that was hard. That was real hard for me because everything that I've done in my life, or I did in my life to that point, was doing everything to make them proud, right? You want to make your parents proud. I want to make my mom and my dad proud. And then when she was gone, it kind of sucked the wind out of me. And then I started questioning, because it was cancer. And then after she passed, there was other friends and close friends and family that were passing from, whether it was cancer or some kind of a disease or a heart attack. And I started thinking, man, what's going on here? There's a reason why all this is happening. And the solution, or the doctors, what they say, quote unquote, is a solution, is more drugs, more medication, to control it. Well, you don't want to control it. You got to get down to the bottom of it. What's causing all this? And so from 2008 to 2013 is I kept questioning. I kept thinking, what is causing all this mess, all these diseases and all these heart attacks? And it was just crazy. And then come down to it, I met a chiropractor in 2013, and he just kind of explained it to me in simple terms. He goes, it's your body. You got to take care of your body. If you don't take care of your body, that's going to happen. How do you take care of your body? You got to eat well. You got to eat the right foods.
What kind of fuel are you putting in?
Yeah, what fuel are you putting into your body? You got to exercise. And I knew all that, and I thought I was eating well. I thought I was eating healthy, but it turned out that I wasn't. And what he ended up doing, when I asked him out of the blue, I said, what protein bar do you take? What's a good one? He goes, you got to read the ingredient list. I go, what do you mean, the ingredient list? He goes, you turn it around. You see all those words in the back of the ingredient list? That's the food you put into your body. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this was in 2013. And that's when I said, it made sense. I was like, well, it makes a lot of sense. And so that's what I did, right? So the protein bar that I was eating, actually, that I thought I liked, it was the best one that I could find as far as taste goes. I went and looked at the back of the ingredient list, and there was a list of, 25 things that was in it. And most of that, I had no idea what they were.
You couldn't pronounce it?
I couldn't pronounce. There were chemicals. I'm a chemical engineer, and I couldn't even pronounce the damn things. Couldn't pronounce it. A lot of ingredients, and then that's when I said, you know what? I just make my own. So I'm gonna make my own. So I found a recipe. Had 3 ingredients. I made it. I was like, it's not too bad. I like it, but I want some more stuff, right? I need some more flavor in this thing. The 3 ingredients wasn't cutting it. Even though it was good, I still needed more flavor. And so then I just started playing around with different ingredients. Hemp seeds, the flax seeds, coconut oil, dark chocolate, almonds, almond butter, dates. I started just buying these things from the grocery store.
So dark chocolate, hold on, let's talk about chocolate here. Yep. Chocolate's good?
Love chocolate. Chocolate's good. If it's a right chocolate, if it's a real chocolate from cacao, from the cacao bean or the cocoa bean, right? It's not. You'll see on some packages where it'll say unsweetened chocolate or say chocolate made with alkali. That just means they've done stuff to it. It's in a lab and they're adding stuff to it. They're adding some chemicals and they're messing it up. Whereas with the cocoa bean, they're getting it straight from the cacao bean and extracting it from there. And it's just that, some cocoa butter. The way they process it, it's still in its kind of its natural state or natural form. And it still has its antioxidant benefits that dark chocolate has. What you want to do is anything from 70% and higher cocoa count, that's what you want. And in my bars, I've got 85%. 85% for me is kind of the right, it gives it the right taste. I have tried 100% cacao chocolate chips.
Kind of bitter.
It's man, it's tough. It's almost like eating dirt.
But chocolate's good for you. Did y'all hear that?
Chocolate is good for you. It's very good.
It's the right one, though.
The right one. And so I just started playing with the ingredients, and then finally I came up with a combination. I said, this is it. I think I've got something here. So I started making them for myself. I made a small batch of 12, and I take them to work. And one guy asked, he goes, what are you eating? And I told him, I said, well, just protein bar that I made myself. He goes, can I try it? I said, sure. And so he tried it, and he goes, how much? I go, well, how much for what? He said, how much for you to make those for me? He goes, those are the best things that I've ever tasted. And he was a workout fanatic. He was always going to the gym, and he was always looking for a good protein bar. He goes, man, this is it. This is the best. I guess I'll pay you. And so I started making them for him. And then another person tried it. Another workout fanatic. He tried it, said the same thing. And then it was a third person, and then the fourth. And then by the time I knew it, I think there was like 7 or 8 people there at the office that I work at that I was making them protein bars. Every week, every couple of weeks, I'd make a batch for everybody. And they were paying me, $30 for a batch of 12. So what is that, like $3 for... No, that's $2.50 a bar.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It wasn't costing me that much. I was finding the ingredients. Organic ingredients is what I was using. And with me making them, I think my cost was like $12 or $13, not including my time. Right, this is just for the ingredients itself, and then I was selling them for $30. So not too bad. It was
So you kind of stumbled into entrepreneurship.
I stumbled into it. So that was in 2013. So from 2013 to 2015, I was just doing it as a hobby.
Like any smart guy, you just researched your way into it.
I just researched it, figured out the right ingredients, and I just did it as a hobby because it was I was still taking care of my body, changed the way I exercised, changed the way I ate. These were perfect for me, and then I was helping 7 other people with their protein bars that they were looking for. So I was this is perfect, and it was just a hobby. Still didn't even think about entrepreneurship. I didn't even look at it as an entrepreneurship. I just looked at it as a hobby.
Yeah. And
then in 2015. I mean, it got to be a lot of work doing it. Even for it was 7, 8 people, it was a lot of work in my kitchen where I was starting. It took a lot of my time. But the fact that they kept on coming back, I said, you know what? What if I made this a business? What if I actually made?
I got an MBA.
I got an MBA
from Rice.
I think I can figure this out, right? And in 2015, April 2015, I sat there and I was there in my house and I was just thinking about it. And I said, I think I can make this a business, make it work, right? Just get the word out, get it to the masses, work at it.
So 4 years ago.
Yeah.
April. Okay.
And so, so I started researching, looking for a bar manufacturing company. And eventually I got online and I found one. They're based out of LA, outside of LA. And that's all they do is make protein bars. The best thing about it was that the ingredients they already had in-house were the ingredients that I was already using for my protein bar that I was making. And so it was perfect. I said, all right, these are the ingredients I want. These are the nutrition facts that I want. Formulate it. And they did. So they formulated it. They helped me with the design. They helped me with the packaging.
And now we have like whole boxes like this.
There we go. Yeah. And placed an order and started selling them, right?
Yeah.
Created my website on Shopify. And
now you're in business.
And now just like that, I'm in business. So that's how it started. 2015. I started small, doing just small batches, and then I created another flavor, and then another flavor, and then another flavor. By the time I knew it, I had 4 different flavors that I was working on. But from 2015 to 2017, it was kind of stop and go. I'd make a batch, and then they would expire, or I wouldn't sell them all. They'd expire, and then I'd wait. I would wait another 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, and then I said, okay, let's do another batch. Let's give it a shot again. Run some Facebook ads to it, stuff like that. I was all learning it on the fly. I was just researching and trying to teach myself, trying to figure it out on my own. I think that's the engineer in me, trying to figure it out on my own, right?
Try to fix it.
I
can do this. This is easy. It's just business.
Yeah,
those engineers.
And so from
don't worry, doctors think that way too.
So from 2015 to 2017, that's it was just up and down for those 2 years.
And then 2017.
Oh yeah,
Hurricane Harvey. I remember I see this post on Facebook. It says, "I think my house is flooding. The water's rising. I'm going to walk out of my neighborhood. You don't live too far away, so I come get you." Say, okay, I'll bring you back. You stunk up my car.
Yep.
Yeah, he smelled horrible. God, don't walk out in floodwaters. Okay, they're bad for you. But it kind of set you back a little bit. So your house had to be. You had to rip all the sheetrock out, redo your whole house.
That was tough.
And then you got this budding business you're working on. So tell me about that. How'd you get through that?
So before that hurricane hit, it was the summer of 2017. It was in July and August, and that month of July, I was really getting after the protein bar business as far as marketing, trying to figure out how to market it right, getting my story out there. I was coming home from work, and from 6 o'clock in the evening till about midnight, 1 o'clock, I was just there researching.
Are y'all listening to this? That's entrepreneurship.
Figuring out Facebook, figuring out Instagram, what do I post? What information I need to put out there, and trying to model other people that were having a success, just trying to get some ideas. And so I did that for those 2 months, July and August. And was that August 28th or 29th? Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah.
Here it comes. And stayed at my house and got a lot of rain, and it wouldn't stop. And then that water just started coming into the house.
Yeah.
And so once it started coming in, I had a wet vac.
Yeah.
I was trying to beat it. I was sucking up that water as it was coming in, saying, it ain't going to flood my house.
Yeah, if Noah had one of these.
And after what? I think it was 4 hours of that, of sucking it up and then throwing it into
you realized you were going to lose.
In my shower. Then I saw it coming in from everywhere, in my house, from the back, from the sides, from the kitchen. And I was like,
yeah,
time to go. And so I got my stuff, got my bag, and put some clothes in there, and I left. Left and walked to the waters to safety, and then that's when you picked me up. And I had to stop my protein bars because my house was a wreck. I was going to have to fix it up, and I couldn't do that and concentrate on my bars at the same time. So I was just starting to get some traction. I was motivated. I was getting somewhere, and then the hurricane hit and the flood hit, and it just stopped all momentum. I just completely stopped and shut down.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to put that to the side and get my house back in order. And I didn't have flood insurance, so there's no money from the insurance coming in. And so what that meant was that I was going to have to do a lot of the work myself with some help from some good people, some good friends.
A lot of that happened during that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some good friends from work came and helped me out, helped me lay some of the tile. I learned how to lay tile on the floor.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work. So I had a good friend help me with that, and then my brothers helped me with electrical work, and it took me from what we started in November of 2017, and in May of 2018 was kind of when I was ready. I wasn't completely done, but I had enough of it done to where I could start concentrating on my protein bars. And so May of 2018, got right back at it. Did another order of the O-Bar of one flavor, and didn't quite sell them all. But then in November and December, I created another order for all 4 of my flavors, and that's what I'm doing right now, is trying to get those
so
sold.
After going through all this, right, where you got to rebuild your house and all this, for a guy who just kind of stumbled into this, right? What got you to go back to it? Because it's a lot of work. It really is, and it's a lot of work you don't get paid for. Those 6-7 hours of sitting around and researching, advertising, and doing stuff. And I know you end up looking like a teenage girl because you're always walking around taking.
Yep.
But you're advertising, and all of this you don't get paid for all this stuff. What made you decide to go back to it?
So I remember in the beginning what I said before my mom passed away. I mean, everything that I did was to make her proud, right? That was I always wanted to make it, and I know I did. But that also drove me, right? Seeing her happy made me happy, and it would drive me to succeed. Drove me to graduate from MIT. When I got into Rice, she had already passed, but I used her memory, knowing that she's still watching over me. You know what? I still got to make her proud, and so that's what got me through Rice as well. And then when all this happened, with going back to my protein bars, starting it up again, because maybe once or twice I think I thought about just stopping. I was like, you know what? This ain't gonna work. But the reason I named my company, the protein bar company, I've named it Barz by BellaLuz. Well, BellaLuz is my daughter's name. She's 13 years old now. And that's who I try to make proud now, right? I want her to be proud of her dad. I want her to be proud of me when she looks at me or she tells her friends about me, that she's proud, or a smile comes across her face. And I knew if I had her name and as part of that, the name of my company, Barz of BellaLuz, seeing her name on there, seeing her name on the logo, that's my reminder that there's no quit. Right? I can't quit.
I'm not doing this for me.
I'm not doing it for me.
Or at least not just for me. This is for...
I'm doing it for her, to make her proud, give her something when she graduates from high school or college, that she's got something to look forward to. Maybe she takes it over, right, and starts running it. I just kind of pass it on to her. But I want her to see me making it a success, and with the intent and the hope that she sees that she sees that drive and that determination, and she sees it and she does that herself, right?
Yeah.
I want her to do that while she's going to school. I want her to have that drive and that determination to make it, to get the good grades and graduate and do well. And if she sees that I'm doing it, hopefully that rubs off on her, right?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
What's that?
That's how you practice that. She says.
Oh,
so I get that. I get that, and I think that a lot of people who do this, they have that different type of intrinsic motivation from things outside of. It's not about money. It's I know a few who got into entrepreneurship for the money and did okay, but not most of them get into it for all sorts of different reasons, but not the money. The money's what comes after you do it for a while, and people are like, okay, I'm willing to pay you for this. But it takes a certain amount of showing that you're committed too, because people aren't willing to pay for it until they see that you're going to keep doing it and keep. Yeah,
that you got some skin in the game.
Yeah.
And then that's why I keep doing it for her. I want her to be proud of it, and the other thing is also to get it out to the public about healthy eating.
Yeah,
right. It's all about what you put in your body.
It's about people.
It's about people. I'm doing well by feeding myself well, and I'm good. Thank the Lord. There's nothing wrong with me, right?
Lots of wood.
Yeah. I'm healthy.
It's all IKEA wood.
I'm healthy. I exercise. I'm not a gym rat. I'm not at the gym all the time, but I keep myself in decent shape, and then I put good stuff in my body. And one of the hard things, just going through your day, is when you do get hungry and you need something to snack on, you want something that's going to be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Instead of some chips or a cookie, a bad cookie, or a Snickers or something like that, you want something it's going to taste good, but then also it's going to
be good for you.
It's going to be good for you.
I actually have an emergency one in my desk.
Do you?
In case my lunch runs out and I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get through all your food and you're like, man, I'm still hungry. What am I going to eat? And the easy thing to do is go to the
little vending machine.
That now takes credit cards, so you can buy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it all to A6, B3. Feel like you're playing bingo.
Yeah, but it's all bad stuff, and so that's the other reason I do this is I know it's good for me, and I want to get it out to other people so they got something that they can turn to if they're looking for something healthy, and they can't find it. Well, this is it. I like to fill that. I'm trying to fill that void.
Yeah. And it's a big void.
It is a big void, and the other thing is I'm also trying to teach how to read the ingredients list, right?
Yeah.
Turning the packaging over and looking at what's inside of it, right? If you look at,
I mean, like when I go,
yeah, there you go.
Sugar, 13 grams of sugar.
That's the first mistake people make, right there, right? What you just said is that they look at the numbers, right? They look at the nutrition fact numbers, and the first thing they look at that sugar count. They go, "Oh man, you got too much sugar." Well, hold on, you're looking at it wrong. Yeah, 13 grams of sugar, but you got to look at where that sugar is coming from. And in my bars, it's coming from the 85% organic, 85% cacao chocolate chips, the good chocolate. It's coming from the organic clover honey, and it's coming from the organic dates. Those are where the sugar count is coming from, and it's a natural sugar. Right? Those food have natural sugars as well as vitamins and minerals that it also has. All the antioxidants. Those are all working together That one food product that's got the sugar, the vitamins, and the minerals all working together to feed your body what it needs.
And it provides different types of fuel for different things.
Exactly. So it's not just sugar. When people see, what you got to be concerned with is added sugar, right? You see that sugar count? Okay, then go look at the ingredients. And if you see that word sugar in there, okay, they're adding sugar into it. They're not using the sweetness and the flavor that's coming from the food itself. Those foods that provide that sweetness, that's all you need. You don't need to go add any more sugar. You don't need to add sugar alcohols. You don't need to add artificial sweeteners. Those companies do that nowadays to help with the texture, with the taste, with the shelf life.
Get you hooked.
But it has no benefit for you, right? Those ingredients, those sugars and the sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners, your body doesn't know what that is. It's an invasion, right? It's a foreign object. You know, what happens when you hit somebody in you know, I used to like wrestling, right? the quote unquote fake stuff, right? The bad guy brings in the foreign object, the brass knucks, and he hits the good guy.
He hits Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah. Then what happens to him? He falls down and gets hurt.
He gets a 2x4.
And he loses, right? That's a foreign object doing damage to that other person.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with with the sugar alcohols and the artificial sweeteners and sugar. That's a foreign object, and you're putting that in your body. It's going to start attacking your body. It's going to beat up your body. Your body's going to have to work extra hard in order to process it, to get it out of your system. You don't want to do that. And all these other bars that are out in the market, that's what they use to help with the flavor, help with the texture, give it a good taste, give it a long shelf life, so they can keep it on your on their shelves for a long time. 1 year. There's some that I've seen where expiration date was 2+ years. 2+ years.
There's nothing real in that.
No, there's nothing real in that. It's all artificial, right? And
Unless
so
it's a pickle.
And so that's the other thing that I try to teach people is it's not the numbers. Quit looking at that 13 grams of sugar and say that's too much sugar. No.
Look at the ingredients.
Look at the ingredients. You can see sugar in my ingredients. Yeah. It's coming from food. And when you put that in those minerals and those vitamins and the sugar, it's all working together to make it healthy for you. It's giving you a lot of fiber. A lot of people forget about the fiber.
Yeah.
Look at the count that I've got in these bars. There's a lot of fiber in here. And what the fiber does, it helps with that sugar that you're putting in. It helps with it helps prevent the sugar spike. Like with the diabetics, right? When they get sugar and they get that sugar spike, what the fiber is supposed to do is help control that sugar, not get into that bloodstream, boom, right away.
Yeah.
It's a slow release, so you don't get that sugar spike. Perfect for diabetics.
Well, it's like putting that refined sugar into your car's gas tank.
There you go.
It ain't gonna help it.
It ain't gonna help it. It ain't gonna help it.
It's not a good fuel for it, right? And that's what food is fuel for our body. And I last year, you know, and people who might have been following me on Instagram or whatever may have seen this, but last year I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, getting active was a big part of it, but also changing what I eat was a big part of it. And the way that I thought about it as I did the change wasn't a diet or, you know, I'm going to do this diet or that diet or this diet. It was about fuel. I thought about it as fuel. And I think about like my car. There's certain gas stations I won't stop at to put gas in my car. I don't care how low I am. I'm not buying gas there.
Yeah.
And why would I treat my body worse than my car, you know? And I think that's when you stop and you think about what food is.
Yeah.
It changes the way you process it, you know, and that's a lot of what, you know, what I work with is changing what you think and the way this works. But when you stop and you think about it as fuel, man, it's like my body needs calories. It needs them.
It needs calories.
I have to have calories. My body needs carbs.
It needs carbs. Yes.
What? Carbs are bad for you. Carbs are a slow burn, right? You use them kind of all day long.
If you use a good carb, it's a good carbs. There's some bad carbs, the pastas and the breads and all that. That's what you got to stay away from. But the good carbs from the nuts that I've got in my protein bars, those are perfect. Those are the good carbs. Your body needs it. Your body needs carbs and needs it for energy.
And then protein?
Protein? You gotta have protein. Now there's some people who are saying, well, I need a 20 gram protein bar.
Oh God, you don't
Come
need
20. On. You don't unless you're a bodybuilder and you're out in the gym
and you haven't had any meat today and you haven't drank a glass of milk and your body can only process I think I read 32 grams of protein a day or something like it.
Yeah, for the average healthy person, even the average person, you don't need that 20+ grams a protein in a protein bar. 15 grams, 16 grams is enough.
And we got some of those.
And we've got some of those, right?
Well, let's talk about your bars here. So, okay, let me do this like this. Now, a word from our sponsor. I've always wanted to say that. Like watching Johnny Carson, you know, I always wanted to be Johnny
is
Carson.
This where you cut it off?
Now, a word from our sponsor. This is our sponsor. For the segments, for the discount dugout. It became a a sporting goods store. For dugout discussions, Barz by
BellaLuz.
BellaLuz. So this is the O bar. Mm-hmm. It's called that because it makes you make your O face.
you go, oh, when you taste it, oh,
that's good.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
The O's for
the original. It's my first one. It's organic. Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to come up with a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got the second one, which is the F bar, which was banned by Facebook as porn.
Something like that. It's kind of what they told me. You cannot promote porn or illegal stuff.
Yeah.
And so the F bar, F for fig, right? You had the fig bar as a little kid. This is the real fig bar.
Oh, I like
this
that.
This is the real fig bar.
That's
man.
good. You should sell this stuff.
I do.
You're pretty good at that. I like that.
I do sell it.
That was a good way to put that. Okay, and then we got these are my favorites. The protein bars.
Yep. So this one, Pro BOZ, BOZ for BellaLuz, Pro for protein, and this one has 16 grams of protein. And then this other one, Pro HDZ, keeping with the Z theme at the end of it, Hernandez HDZ. That's where that comes from.
Ah.
And so that one's got 15 grams of protein with a hint of strawberries. The Pro BOZ, the blue one, has a hint of blueberries.
So that's not even a chemical. That's like your name.
That's my name.
That's
a shortened version of my name, Hernandez. HDZ.
Oh wow, that's like genius.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are my favorites. My daughter actually took a box of these. She went to Disney for an school orchestra trip, and took a box of these with her as her snack because she really liked these. And this year, my other daughter likes to remind her that she's doing this to herself. She doesn't have an allergy, but this year she decided to go gluten-free, which
all of my bars are gluten-free.
On top of everything else. Huh?
And healthy, right? There's gluten-free, non-healthy. There's gluten-free, healthy.
Yeah.
These are gluten-free, healthy.
Yeah, she also likes the hot Cheetos, which are gluten-free, not healthy.
That's you're not healthy.
So, what's next for you? What are you trying to do with this? Are you trying to make this full time? You get to quit the regular work? You want to expand? You want to become a health coach on top of what? Tell me what you think's next for you.
Well, the next step, I kind of I took a big leap back in November, December, right when I made the purchase for 4 flavors. Made a big purchase, right? Because that manufacturing company that's helping me with this, they're growing, they're expanding, and so my little small batches that I used to make, I can't make those anymore because it's too expensive for them. And of course, they pass that on to me. Well, if they pass that on to me, then I got to pass it on to someone else, right? So I got to make a big batch. I got to make big orders in order to keep my costs down. And I think I went at it too much with 4 flavors. Because, well, when I get them, then I got to sell them, right? I need to get them out there. And the following that I've got, there's still a lot of people that don't know about Barz by BellaLuz. I don't think I could do a better job of getting the word out in these past, 4 or 5 months. I've tried that, and I need more, right? And so what I'm going to do going forward is try to sell the remaining stuff that I've got, and then just step back in the sense of continuing to build my following, putting out information there about healthy stuff, stuff about sugars, some facts, health facts. Put a lot of value out there, a lot of information, a lot of content to get people, try to change that mindset of healthy is good, right? Mm-hmm. People say, oh, that's too healthy, it doesn't taste good. Oh, it's too healthy, it's too expensive. No, it's not. Healthy can taste good, and it does taste good, especially when you eat my protein bars.
Yeah,
that's some good stuff. And I'm not just being biased saying that because I own the company. They're really good, and I have gotten a lot of feedback. There's probably I could probably count on one hand someone telling me that they didn't like it. Out of everybody that's tried it, 2 or 3 people that said, nah, I'm not too crazy about it, and that's fine, right? Because when you change your eating habits, you change.
But one of the things you added too is a sorted pack, so you could buy one box that has all 4 flavors. So you may not like one or whatever, but you might like others. So just be sure you.
So
if you buy some, start there, because that's what I did. That's what I did.
Yeah, do a variety pack, right? I'll do, since I've got the boxes, I'll open them up, and then I put 3 bars of each flavor in another box, and then I'll ship those out. Then you can try all or 4 of them. You can try all 4 of them at one time.
Yeah.
And to pick which one you like.
Yeah.
And sometimes you never know, because I'm the owner. I'm the only one that makes the decisions, because there's nobody else. Sometimes I'll throw in some extra bars in there, as a thank you. So even if they order, I've done this in the past where somebody will order just the F bar or the O bar, one flavor, and I'll throw 2 bars of each of the other flavors in there just as a thank you.
Yeah.
And hopefully they like that when they see it.
Hopefully get them hooked like a drug dealer.
There you go.
Yeah.
They get excited when they see it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Was I got that, and I found that my wife and my oldest daughter like the F bar, my youngest likes the O bar. I like the protein bars. Yeah, so it worked out.
I made the whole family happy.
Yeah. And you find out which ones, who likes what, so you can.
Yep.
And
so because I haven't been able to sell them all. I mean, this was tough, going all in with 4 flavors and making that big purchase. That was tough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of step back and just start trying to build my following. Right? I don't really have a big following, so the goal is to build a following, get the word out, get people talking about it, and then at some point, and maybe it's 3-4 months down the road, maybe 5 months down the road, then I'll go back to one flavor, the O bar, and do a pre-sale or get on my wish list. And once I'm ready to sell, once I'm ready to make them, let me know. Send me your email, and then I'll send you a link for a special price. Maybe I'll do $24 a box like I'm doing now, by doing get on the wish list or doing a pre-sale, and then try to get the people. Once I have a big following, a good group of people following me that are interested in it, that I get those orders, right then at that time.
Yeah.
And if I got 400 people say yes, I want the O bar. All right, then I can create a page, create a shopping page, and say go here, place your order within 4. They quote me between 4 to 6 weeks, the manufacturing, when they'll be ready. And then when they do it that way, you got a fresh box that's going to last you. That's got a shelf life. Of course, they come up with a shelf life. They have to, and they say it's about 6 months. Well, it's more than that, but they got to put something on there. Yeah. So they put 6 months. Well, they're not going to last you 6 months, because you're going to eat them right away. So you don't have to worry about the expiration date. But by doing it that way, I can get delivered to them a freshly made box that's just coming off the machine.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I think it'll work that way. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take it a step at a time. I went too far. I went too fast back in November, December. I wasn't ready to do that, and so I'm just going to step back and then just do one at a time. Get the following, do the pre-orders, give a good pricing, because there's some bars out there that they say that they're healthy. They're really not.
Yeah. And
they're priced high. You're talking about over $4 a bar. Healthy's good, but you still got to look at the ingredients, and there's some suspect ingredients in there. But it's crazy. It doesn't have to be, eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. And you be affordably priced, like I've got mine, and you got all the health benefits of all the ingredients that I've got in it. At a good price, $24 a box, even $30 a box. That's $2.50 a bar. $2.50 a bar is a good price for any bar that's really healthy and good for you.
Yeah. Like
mine are. Even $3, but $3 is getting a little up there. But even $3, I would pay that.
Well, and some of the stuff to think about, and this is maybe some of our people who watch this or whatever, this might be something, is when you have those vending machines at work.
Yeah.
Maybe suggest that these get put in it instead. So that you can have a healthy snack instead of a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Something that's good and good for you.
Yep.
So then, and if you own a business and you're selling that to your employees, what's that doing to your healthcare costs?
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Obesity, heart disease, all those kinds of things cost you extra. if you're a business owner. And I like what you're saying here, because we see how you got started. It wasn't necessarily intentional.
Yep.
But once you got started, you couldn't stop. It became very intentional. And now it's, how do I work through this process to get to the next level? And as entrepreneurs, that's something that I don't think a lot of people see.
Yeah.
People see Jeff Bezos now.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about him, right? And if you read certain newspapers, you may see more of him than you want to. But that's a different issue. But they talk about the people who become famous as entrepreneurs, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and these guys, but they don't see everything they went through
to get there
before that, up to that. They don't see that. You know, sometimes it's regrouping, sometimes it's changing, sometimes there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of hours you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
That, I think, is the big one.
Yep.
And I think that's what has, to a certain degree, slowed entrepreneurship, at least for the certain generation. We won't name them, but because there was this idea that I'm not going to work unless I get paid. And as an entrepreneur, you do a lot of work you don't get paid for. And maybe one day you selling 1 million bars a month, and you're getting paid back for all that labor, all that time, all that effort, all that stuff. But until then, and that risk of those 4,000 bars is all on you.
Yep. It's all on me. And sometimes you're going to hit a home run, and sometimes you're not. And you're going to strike out. Kind of reference to your
that's good.
To your dugout discussions, right?
Never let the fear of striking out get in your way.
There you go.
How about that one? I like that one.
Sometimes you're going to strike out, and you just keep going. And I'm going to keep going. I see it. I know I've got a good product. I know I've got something that's going to help a lot of people. It's just a matter of getting that word out and doing a better job of getting that word out. And then I'm not saying taking it slow, just taking it a step at a time. And keep chugging away at it, keep plugging away at it until it hits. Yep. And so that's what I'm going to do.
Well, good.
I've got to get it out there. I got to get it to more people. They have to. I need them to realize that this is. It's all about what you put in your body. You want to stop the pain. You want to stop the hurt. You want to stop the diseases, the high blood pressure, or what it is. Trying to lose weight. It all starts about what you're putting into your body. And this is just one way of doing it. With these protein bars, you got a snack, a morning snack, you ain't got time for breakfast, boom, eat this. For lunch, you ain't got time to go eat lunch, boom, eat one of these. And these will take care of you.
I think that the thing, as you're talking with that, the thing that makes me say Albert's going to make it is you got a motivation that's not money.
That's 13 years old.
That's driving you.
Yep.
It keeps you going because you want to make her proud. And you're not doing this for money. You're doing this for people.
For people.
To help with the health, and motivated by your mother.
Exactly, that too.
The health and those, making her proud, but also some of these issues come from the food we eat. And it's killing us.
And I've got a lot of support. Got a lot of people support me, and that always helps. I like it. Keeps that motivation going as well. Yeah. And that's why I do it. At the end of the day, yes, everybody wants the money. You want to be successful. You want that coming in. You make everything else right. You make people happy. You give them something that's going to benefit them, that's going to help them. That'll eventually happen. Right? That's going to happen. That's what happened to some of these other protein bars that started out small, and they made it. Well,
Zig Ziglar said you can have anything you want, as long as you help enough other people get what they want.
And that's the plan, man.
All right.
So we've got to keep going.
Well, it was great talking to you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It was a good time.
This is Todd Scott Miller with Albert Hernandez. Barz by BellaLuz.
Barz by BellaLuz.
BellaLuz.
Right now I've got a 40% off my retail pricing. Basically, that comes down to $24 a box.
Hey, man, that was for the sponsor thing.
Was that the sponsor?
Yeah.
Not here?
No, this is... No, go ahead.
Just go to the website, www.barzbyBellaLuz.com. And that'll have all the information that you need.
Yep. And look for this and more talks as we expand, and you'll be hearing more about these, both on the Dugout discussions and my regular podcast and on my websites and everywhere you can, because I'm just like him. I'm doing this everywhere. So anyway, this is the coach signing off. God bless you.